just for you. That is your own personal meditation, my dear.
Wow. Wow.
You know? Wow.
It is
Wow. I have chills.
it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
There you go. Now let's start with your question.
Okay, so the question is, I see that my life trajectory was actually kind of interesting and set up very, very early, in that, as I just mentioned, I almost died at the age of 9 months, and I was in the hospital for 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, as far as the story goes. So I got a polio vaccine, got really sick. And so I think that event in my life really set a trajectory for what is going to happen in my life. So in two ways. One is I completely disconnected with my mother. And the other one is that I kind of decided to be a healer AI doctor. And so that kind of went full speed. And it took me maybe 45 years for me to realize that, okay, so this was really the key event in my life. And then the life just kind of happened from there, right? And I think, the question that I would have is really about that disconnection with my mother. Like, what was that all about? And what, from her perspective, I still cannot comprehend. We had a very unpleasant meeting just before she died. And the whole life she was dissatisfied with me for whatever reason. I wasn't the daughter that she wanted to have. There was just really a loss of connection, loss of that kind of feeling of being cherished by somebody. And I have tried to kind of live my own life to find that somewhere else, right? And that was, of course, no surprise, that was kind of difficult. And so so I really think the question really is like, what was this all about? Why was that necessary? How does that all look like from her perspective? We never managed to reconcile. Even on her deathbed, it was very ugly.
Okay. All right. Well, that helps me, just really to connect with you, to let some things come in. So what I'm going to tell you is that just this morning in my early meditation, sometimes things will start to show up when I'm going to do a reading like this, especially when I know you a little bit already. Don't know each other well, but when I know you a little bit. And I'm going to say something, don't jump in, because I want to go all the way through it so that you can tell me what this path is that I'm seeing, what I've got. And in my memory, I believe that you have told me that you are from Ukraine and that you grew up in Ukraine. What? Wait, don't tell me. Don't say anything. Let me go through this. So this is what I believe. And all morning long in my meditation, and it's not that I know this place, I just knew what I was seeing. I'm seeing Serbia and images of Serbia and pictures, university. Do you have a sister?
I have a brother.
You have a brother? So it's like, I swear it seemed female, but it's two small children, mother. Some of the images are very black and white, like what you would see in old film. And I don't typically see things that way. I usually see everything in color, even if I'm looking at images from 1810. I'm still seeing it in color. So I'm seeing a lot of that. So that confused me, but you're telling me somehow I had Ukraine and you did grow up in Serbia. Okay. All right. And then did you go to a university in Serbia or a school or something that was like NS, like in, all I can see is like in, or maybe this word means school or university, NOVE, NOVI. Does that word mean anything? Does that mean school?
It actually means the name of the city where I grew up. And it's spelled Novishad,
Oh, okay.
2 words. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And S, that's why I'm seeing that. Okay. All right. So that's okay. I've got chills. Okay. Um, all right. I'm hearing something and seeing something here. Hold on. MAJKA.
Oh, wow. That means actually.
Oh, that was a lot. Don't say it. Let me, I'm sorry. Just let me go through this because it'll come. So MAJ T T T T B O J A T V O J A MAJ. Okay, now I hear it. It sounds like it's very sweet, but it sounds like Toya Maika. Toya Maika. Is that a name? Is whoever this is right here.
Yeah.
Is this a name?
It's not a name, it just means your mother. And she used to refer to herself as your mother. Yeah. It's completely correctly spelled in Serbian. Yeah.
But that's what she called herself, your
That's
mother?
what she called herself when she was, like referring to herself in our conversation, and whatever she would say about herself, it was like your mother, right? And this is totally, I'm just gonna, as you were saying, I'm spelling down, it's like correctly, totally spelled correctly. Yeah.
Okay, she's right here, honey. Okay, and she's teasing me because I saw a boy or I saw a girl and you said and it's a boy. So there's something about the way you two were dressed that made me think that the other one was a girl too. So that's okay. That is okay. Ooh, this emotion is strong. So they will give me, as you probably have seen, emotion, how they feel for you. God. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. So much love, gratitude. She knows you, and you were more than she could have ever expected as a daughter. You were not the daughter she wanted. Okay. She's telling me to shake this snap out of it. Was she pretty tough? Like,
very tough.
I mean, she's not wanting me to cry here. She's like, stop it, snap out of it. Don't do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's not putting up with this. There's no crying in this. Yeah, she's not
crying. There's no mushy. There's just
like,
get on.
No,
yeah.
Get on. Exactly. She says, stop it. Let's go. Okay. Let me see what she's trying to say to me here for you. All right. There is a belief that the overwhelming belief here. Oh, wait, she's going back. When you were sick, the way that things were then, it wasn't like here in the United States or maybe in Canada where you are, where, in the hospital room, the mother stayed and was allowed to hold the child, and you were very, very young, and she was not allowed to be there with you. She thought you were going to die.
Yeah.
And she let you go. She had to, or she was going to lose it. Basically, she was going to fall apart. And in that country, in that time, it was hard, much harder than what I know. She's telling me, much different, in a rough sort of way. And she had to cut off how she how much she loved you. She had to cut off her physical awareness of that because she was going to lose you, and she was taken from you, or you were taken from her essentially. And she had to cut that off. Mira, do you understand this? Do you understand what I'm saying to you so far?
I do understand. And yeah,
Okay.
that's a different perspective that I could have ever imagined. But what you
She
think about
turned it off like a faucet.
Yeah.
And she had to. There was no other way for her to survive this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the belief that you have developed from this relationship with your mother is this, and she's saying it in these words, and I think because possibly she's saying you know it this way, you understand it this way. This belief is that people who are supposed to love you do not love you.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to you?
Totally.
Okay.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
And what she's saying, man, she's tough. God, she sent that love. She is full of love, but she is tough. She says, the time for this belief now, it has served you. It has gotten you to where you are. And she wants you to know that it is completely untrue, that while you believed she did not love you, and it appeared that you were not enough, you were not good enough, you weren't the right daughter, you had the wrong interests, you had the wrong behavior, you didn't even look right as far as what you perceived she thought about you, that it was such an illusion on your part. But she's aware that because she turned this off for her survival, she knew it in her mind how much she loved you, and she could remember it, but physically she could not turn it back on. She was too afraid. There was so much fear. And she says, you understand fear. She developed a belief in that you were going to be taken away from her at any moment, and she could not let herself feel for you. She spent her entire life making sure that you would survive. Do you understand this? Everything she did was not to show you love and affection anymore. It was to make sure you're, because she believed at any moment you were going to die, and she wanted you to be tough and to make it. Do you understand?
It fully resonates with me, because that is also my perception, of the whole situation.
Okay.
And for me, like, that belief that I have developed, it's still in me, and it's almost like it's kind of really softening. But part of me, even when you are telling me how she so much loved me, and and I understand she had to shut it off because she had to survive, I totally understand it. And all the understanding is really intellectual and mind understanding, but my heart still cannot feel that.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
So,
Understood.
That's something that I would like to I think in that one trajectory, this is something that somehow I have to let my heart open to that. And it's almost like I have this belief, well, that's impossible, because the whole life was like that, right? So I have almost no memories of anything different. And so how is that? I don't know. My dad loved me, and so my brother loves me. It's like there's many people in my life that actually really love me, and I felt loved. But however, that one critical relationship was not really, and it really impacted me a lot.
It has. And I believe in this, and she's telling me for you to, one, be patient through this process today, and that she has brought others with her, not human though. I believe there are other spirit guides of yours that she's bringing in with her. She is leading this. She is forward here. and she's leading this. So this is a message for you. And she's just saying, just be patient, and you will be able to feel what I felt, what brought me to tears, all the different emotion that I could feel. You will eventually be able to feel this. They are all going to show you things about yourself, show you where you are. This is just her telling me this, and give you a process specifically to do so that you can get there. And if you'll do it, physically do it, you will get there. Okay. Ooh, okay. That was a lot. She's strong. She's very strong.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's in this. She wants one more time for me to say to you, the time for this belief is over now. You have worked on it. You have softened it. It is time for it to be dormant. It will never leave you.
Yeah.
But it does not need to continually be faced by you in manifestation events.
Yeah.
We're going to get you processes. We're going to begin to understand a little bit more about who you are and what you're going to do. Okay. So this is lovely. This is really lovely. I'm scribbling, sorry, because I'm trying to see. So she has with her do you have any connection to tigers or to a tiger at all? Do you have any sort of connection to that?
I'm born in the year of tiger. I'm water tiger.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So all I can see right now is this massive tiger energy. And here's the word that she is giving me. It is Siddha, Siddha, Siddha. And she's like introducing this tiger. This is a spirit guide of yours. And this tiger energy is huge. Siddha, it is the spirit of the tiger. And she's saying, and you could probably find this. A lot of times I find that we can look these things up afterwards and we get all kinds of information about what you're supposed to know about it. But the Siddha, the spirit of the tiger, is medicine. It is medicine for you and medicine for others. Wow. Okay. We're going to have to look that up. That's incredible.
Wow.
And so what this tiger, oh my God, there's more. So here it is. Here's the words. The spirit medicine transforms fear, especially in the form of anger and hatred, but it's just fear. Transforms that into clarity, passion, and unwavering commitment to enlightenment. This is you. This is what this spirit guide is forefront right now and telling you and leading you to. So this is all of this practice of medicine and working with people and helping them transform their fear into clarity, into enlightenment. You are practicing this. Do you have there's two things happening here that your mom is saying. One, that you feel you're very sure of yourself, and this, of course, I know, in the area of your career and your intelligence. You're very, very sure of yourself, and even, within the family, you had a big shakeup 4 or 5 years ago, but you've done the work, you're understanding that, but it's like she's telling me that you're a little bit still unsure of your spiritual knowledge, your spiritual practice, your spiritual understanding, that you love it, you have fun with it, you are doing some of the work, but you're feeling like you're missing something, like you're a little bit unsure in it. Does that make sense to you? So before I keep going, I'm going to make sure I'm reading her right for you.
Yeah, it does make sense to me. It has last, I would say, year or two, like that passion for medicine and for all of that is kind of lessened, and more kind of move into me growing up into my understanding of like really interpersonal relationships and healing, and healing this belief that is so like incredibly stuck, right? And so then that interest in medicine has kind of lessened. And I became a bit cynical because of the whole medical system is kind of going, like everything is disintegrating, which I understand, and something new is going to get formed, but it's kind of lost a little bit of a zing and passion that I had. I still enjoy it, but it's kind of like, it's becoming a bit of a block.
Okay.
And yeah. So that's,
so she's saying,
about. Yeah.
well, she's saying this is by design, but she's showing me something. Mira, do you write a lot of medical articles? Do you do a lot of research and write?
Yeah.
Do you? Okay. So something that she's saying, it's almost like it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. God, this is going to be really funny when I say this. That you either wrote something or published something about doctors, or maybe it's not doctors, just people in your field, not dying off, like burning out, flaming, like getting tired of it, just getting overworked, overwhelmed, and whatever. And she's saying there's a reason that you wrote that. You were aware of that. This is not exactly what's happening to you, but it is in essence what, and it is perfectly by design. You have experienced a great rocket ride in this career. You definitely have a second act. Everything that you've done in medicine is tied to it very much, but you can begin to be okay that this feeling of being maybe complete with it and wanting to lean in another direction is exactly what you've designed for yourself. And she's also saying that somewhere in your mind, you have a little bit of it's more of a hope, which is sort of a victim, but it's a belief. It's something that you believe that there is a partner for you, and it feels romantic that you have someone coming with whom you have a powerful intention. And that intention is more in the line of ascension and spiritual teaching and development. Is that true? Is that something that you find you have thought or felt that there's someone coming for you to join that path with you?
Yeah, I do feel that so first of all, just address this article that you're talking about. I'm just blown away, because in August that article was actually published, and it has been in the like national newspapers and the findings and whatever, and it is really like a huge survey of doctors across Canada, and everybody's kind of burnt out and like everybody had enough, whatever. So it's a huge thing that I've done. It's completely like different from the rest of my career, right? So all of a sudden I'm kind of diving into something different. So that's absolutely correct. And that's how a lot of us feel, and that's how I feel as well. And then so that's why that kind of zing and passion is kind of gone, and we're just kind of really we just had enough, really. It's a lot. Anyway, so that's that part.
Honey, it is. I can imagine. It's a lot.
So draining. It's so intense. It's just like, it's actually becoming brutal, right? So that's that part. And so, well, there's nothing I can do about the system, but at least I have contributed with that awareness, right? So people now like, oh, there's this article, or whatever. So that's that part. And then the other part of me feels like there is so much to be addressed of illness, and particularly cancer, right, on some spiritual level and emotional level. And so I'm thinking like, well, maybe that's what I should be doing as well. And I actually really am kind of thinking I can't do that alone. Like, I am not the person who's just going to grab something and run with this, but I can do a lot, but I do need a company, a very good company to do that with. And so, do I have a feeling that somebody's coming? Well, maybe that's what I have kind of in my mind. Like, I do need somebody to do that with. I can't do it alone. Yeah. I don't want to do it alone, actually. That's
you don't want to, right? It's simply something that she's flowing to you. And for me, the emotion she's giving me is for you to relax around that and look in that direction and know that this is what you're doing is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and what you're feeling is fine. And we're going to keep walking you through, and we're going to show you more and more and more about who you are and who I feel like, well, we're getting there. She's sending things to you. Wow, she is right with you all the time. She has not ever left. She's just right with you. And these spirit guides, I have a sense, and this is the first time I've ever gotten this sense. Typically, spirit guides, the way that I understand them is that we choose them prior to our birth, and we have these arrangements, and many of them come and are with us our entire life. But then there are others that come in and are there for a period of time to help us, guide us through some other things and give us inspiration in other ways. A little of that is out there for me, but that's the way I'm starting to understand them the more that I speak to them and I see these things. In this case with your mother, there is one in particular that I am understanding from her. She has brought to you. It is not, and of course, a pre-birth intention, but this one is her gift to you. And this one is there. All of this tiger energy is huge. So she's wanting me to I'm going to write. So I'm going to write down some names. You can do the same as I spell them. All of these we will be able to look up, I think. So there is something called white Tara, Tara. This looks to me like it's female, but doesn't particularly look human, similar to human, but is decorated and looks a bit what I would say is either well, obviously Indian, kind of Hindu, or even something else, but in that genre. So this white Tara is there. Do not forget this Siddha, this spirit of the tiger. This is another really big one. Then there is, here's another one, EKA, JATI, EKAJATI. So, wow. Again, this is something that you've learned and practiced with your medical patients. And this one is with you to help you learn to remove fears from yourself, but it looks like others, and it almost looks like opposition to you. So if you had an enemy, which we know isn't really the case, but if you had someone in opposition, which could be a patient, someone who, you know, it is just on the opposite side of that stick from you, removing fear and then spreading joy and moving away blocks that are on this spiritual path or this path to enlightenment. That's what this spirit guide is. So now I have 1, 2, 3 right now. And you've been learning and practicing this with your patients. This is all leading you somewhere. This one that your mother has brought in is a goddess. Wow. PALDA. It's 2 words. LALLHAMO. Palda Lamho. And she looks like it's definitely a goddess, but like surrounded by fire and riding a horse, what looks like a horse. This one is your protector. This is a powerful protector. And again, what I'm understanding is that this one is with you, and this is, I mean, a very powerful protector. We've got to look this up and see if it's anything that we can find. Really, it's all funny, but and wow. So this is the one that she's bringing. This is a powerful protector. You are being protected by it. But as I've learned, once you make contact and you can feel that protection, you can feel that strength and that power, so that it gives you a sense. You and I both know from what we study that we are not victims and we don't really need protection. this spirit guide is something to help you lean into that feeling, to know that. But once you learn that feeling of this powerful protector, you will be able to flow that feeling out.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mira, imagine everything that you have done to this point, and you have this Siddha, which is the spirit of the tiger, that is within you. That is medicine that transforms fear, right? That's incredible. You have this white Tara, this Jati, I don't know how to say it. I can't hear it, but that's removing fears, spreading joy, removing blocks on a path to enlightenment. And then this powerful protector that you are flowing. And there's yet another one that's very male. Okay, here we go. So this one, I've heard this name before. Do you know the name Shiva? Shiva, Shiva?
Well, that's a god's Shiva, right?
Shiva is a god's name, right? This one, and this one is definitely male. And here it is. This is the quote here I'm getting in my head. So you're feeling restrained by the physical, which could also be like your job, but by the physical, by your physical body, by your job, by your surroundings. But you're also, if you think about it, you're feeling restrained by the cosmos entirely. And this one is appearing like sitting on a rug of a tiger, like a tiger skin. This tiger energy is all around you. Every one of these have that feeling to them. But this one is very masculine, very creative, and actually a little sexual, like lusty sort of thing, right? And this is leading you right now to show you that you are not restrained. This, whatever feeling you have that you are restrained by your physical body, by your job, and just by the universe itself, you are not. And this is what he is here to show you. Wow. And your mother is leading the parade of all of these. Wow. Okay. So something else so how they're appearing right now is like a team, right? This is a whole group. And I'm just going to ask you this. You reached out to me to do this, but I know you a little bit, and I know that you're extremely intelligent and you're all out on that leading edge in that way. Do you find that you don't really reach out for help often, or reach out? You don't? Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. And again, that all goes to the mother, right? Which, like, I never had this feeling that, she's there for me. So then I became incredibly self-reliant. So asking for help is like never dawned on me. Like, and this is something that I'm kind of almost having to kind of think myself through. Well, maybe I can ask for help here. That's actually really healthy for me, right? So I don't have that in me because I never had that experience as a child, right, and growing up with her that, she's here available to help me. No, that was not
right.
Yeah.
She is now. She always has been. Now you are opened up and you're ready to receive it. And she's got this team, and you have this team around you. And what they're telling me is that you haven't been comfortable. You don't reach out for help. The understanding that there's something you want to do, and you need a partner or a company or someone with you. This is good. This is a crack in the eggshell of you to understand that you would like to have that, and that possibly you could need that. You don't need anything, but that feeling of needing is a good place for you right now. And because you are not feeling completely sure of your spiritual practice and your spiritual knowledge and your understanding, that's perfect place to be, because it's driving you for more. But they're saying we are a team, and this path to enlightenment for you and this path to your purpose is a team effort, Mira. It is a team effort. You cannot do it alone. It is a team of players that are extraordinary. And you belong on this team.
Mhm.
This is what their message is. Okay.
Mhm.
So now they want to, oh, wow. Okay. Do you consider yourself to be a visual person or more of a feeling person?
Yeah, that's a great
Does that
question.
question? Mhm.
I'm beginning to think I am third, third, and third. So I am third visual, I'm third auditory. Like auditory is very strong in me. Visual
Mhm.
is also very strong, but also tactile is very strong. So I'm just like really totally
Okay.
balanced. I'm neither.
It's really funny that you just said 333. Something that I get for people almost every time is a megahertz for them to listen to.
Okay.
And as I was asking you if you were feeling or visual, the megahertz came of 333.
Oh God.
So make a note of that. And that was right before you said, I'm a third, a third, a third. I'm getting 333. I've never gotten that one for anyone before. I don't know what it is yet. I never know what particular chakra, what it means. It usually is very poignant. But once we finish this, that 333. So 333 is going to be a meditation. And what you're going to do, they're going to download it. I'm going to say it to you. You'll have it on recording, and then you can use it however you want. But they're wanting you to do this every day. And if in a moment, I think that it's maybe why they are asking that question. If in a moment that you feel like you can visualize and use these symbols, right? Just let these symbols integrate into you without analyzing them or interpreting them. Okay. If you feel like you can visualize them, then visualize them.
Yeah.
If you hear what I'm saying and what they're giving me for you, and you, rather than visualizing, you find that you feel like sensations or just feelings, you have feelings and sensations that come up, that arise during it, then let that be and let those integrate. And rather than trying to visualize what I'm saying, just listen to the words that I'm saying and let it be one of the two. Okay. So this is a meditation for you in a sense. Okay. That they're wanting you to do. This is part of this path to this answer, that what, you know that what the disconnection now is your mother. You're beginning to understand why you're feeling dissatisfied or burnout or a little bit complete in your career that has been fabulous. And you are now going to get to understand how you can feel this from your mother, how you can feel what I feel and begin to feel that you are loved and that the people that love you are supposed to love you do. And it has nothing to do with how bright you are or how many lives you save or any of that. It is just because you are Mira.
Mhm.
Understand? Okay. So what you're going to do is this. We're going to say this. I will just channel it as they speak. So it is this. You are a bright white light, a sun, if you will. The shining white light through changing sacred geometrical patterns and shapes, a mandala, if you will. Waves of light are flowing through you very slowly, very deeply. From that very powerful luminescent center of the white light that is you, this white light sun, a white light tiger charges forward from the center. The light magnifies and amplifies itself. It's reaching in every direction, up, down, sideways, through every dimension. It cannot be contained. You cannot be contained. This light is you. And the waves of light continue to flow through you deeply and slowly and powerfully. Is it? You breathe through this and you do this as long as you feel you want to do it, and then you rest and you come out of your meditation and you do this to a 333 megahertz. Wow. that was a interesting download. That was from the way that came was they all came together so that I couldn't tell one from the other, your mother and all of the spirit guides that were there. And then it just downloaded from them, like a block of thought.
Wow.
Just for you. That is your own personal meditation, my dear.
Wow. Wow.
You know? Wow.
Wow.
I have chills.
Yeah. It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
It is really beautiful. And, you know, you can play with that. You can re-record it. You can have someone with a great voice record it so that you can hear it and love it. You know, somebody like, you know, that does this and that you can listen to it and you can stay. I can tell from the way that meditation feels, you could do that for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Mm-hmm. You just begin to see that. And that's incredible. So that is very interesting. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. They feel quite complete. This is a shift for you. This is the beginning for you to understand how to feel this love that I felt from your mother. And you will begin to do it. And Mira, you will be able to feel it. And it's going to change your life. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that is really amazing. That is totally amazing.
Beautiful.
Wow. And then I wanted to ask you also, like, this actually totally makes sense because I had in my mind constructed parts of it, and it was just like parts that are kind of a little bit not connected to each other. But what you're saying, and with all of this, all these parts somehow really got connected, particularly the story about how she actually cut me off because she needed to survive. And I understand that. I really do. I really do understand that. Yes. And how she was never really able to turn it on. And I felt it and I know. And I was always saying, you know, how when people have problems with somebody, right? And this is in psychology really well described, how the children grow up thinking there's something wrong with me, right?
Yes.
I never had that. I always felt like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're supposed to love me. And so I grew up with that. And then, you know, it was a long time before I was able to actually kind of make that believe and this kind of articulate exactly, you know, what was going on in my head. But that was exactly, and even some psychologists, I had a friend who was saying, this is very unusual. You know, people always think like, oh, my mother didn't love me. This is something like, there's something wrong with me. And it was a very rare person to say like, there's nothing wrong with me, like it's you, like what is wrong with you? And that's how I grew up. And it's that belief that, you know, people who are supposed to love me, they're not loving me. And
they don't do it. Right. Exactly. It was word for word. She gave it to me. So, and now, you know, once she turned that off, that fear of you not surviving, she could not physically turn that back on. All she wanted to do was make sure you survived.
And
it was overwhelming.
That mothering and her parenting was all in that vein of like, okay, you got to survive, you got to, you know, be strong, you got to, you know, have a good education, like you just have to be on your feet to really survive. And there's no question I'm doing that quite well.
Right. You're doing quite well. Yeah. And she's here and she's saying, you know, Mira, it's over. It's time for you to understand who she is, understand who you are, which is, we got some clarity on who you are. And I can see it very clearly. And these spirit guides were showing it to me. When I get into that zone, I can see who you are. And it's powerful. And there's, you know, no reason for you to be afraid of anything or to think that there's a choice that you could make that could be wrong. There's just simply not. You are powerful and you can do anything you want to do.
There were days where we thought